Hello and welcome back to my playthrough of Final Fantasy XV. We are here at Koenig's Ulster, and in the last episode, I think we just finished off by picking off we picked up some Catobla Pass brisket, which Taco was looking for. And so we're going to head back to Leiden, head back to Hammerhead, just because we can hand in a lot of those quests, sort of tie up some loose ends there. But I think one of the important things that we will then do is we'll probably fast travel back to Lestallum, because one of the things that I would like to do is start making inroads into Vive's set of quests, which require us taking photos around the Lucian continent. And these sets of quests they are somewhat frustrating at times, but I would like to make progress with them in a way that also matches pretty much where we are in where we'll want to be heading to in the next sort of set of
everybody out.
In the next set of episodes and things like that. So, in particular, right now, I'm thinking
It should be a nice change of pace.
There are 6 dungeons left in Lucis that we are yet to complete. One of which is Costermark Tower, which is the hardest dungeon in the game, at least certainly at first level, and I think even in its advanced state later on, it's also very difficult.
Thanks for the ride.
Nice riding with you.
Is this the place Cindy was talking about?
Most likely. I imagine there are quite a few Imperial leftovers lying around.
So it looks like that we're heading over to the, we're retrieving some stuff from this Imperial base that we went through with Core a very long time ago now. I like the fact you just pick up one. Oh, it's a Cactuar. Hello.
Is that what I've been
Boogerboy is making that sound.
Oh, sorry about that.
Noctis was being too efficient there.
The sun's colder today.
Yep, getting pretty dark out here.
Come on, guys, let's go find somewhere to crash.
So see, Cactuars, you can find them as you can see, sort of in generally in like dusk or also at dawn, in areas in North Lead, and obviously they allow you to collect items such as Cactuar needles, being one of their potential drops, for example. Oh, there's another one. Oh, it's a Slactuar.
Last thing I need now. Eyes peeled, mouth closed.
The rarer version of the Cactuar. And there we go. As you see, we get a Cactuar needle for our trouble there. And we find our 3rd or 4th
Why
turn?
are they so heavy?
4th turn.
And why do we have to carry them?
To help you bulk up. Let's move.
Right, it was just like, this would be super easy for me, but you guys need the work. Okay, looks like we can't get back through this way, so we'll be heading back. I'm hoping that we can... I think sundown is still at like 5, so I'm hoping we can still drive back to Hammerhead, and then we'll have to fast travel to Lustalum. But that's fine by me. Anyway, I was talking about dungeons. So, there are 6 dungeons left in the game that we are yet to complete. One of which is, as I say, Costermark Tower. We have the Crest channels, located at the front, sort of, at the Insomnia end of Leid. So sort of very close to where you go at the end of Chapter 2.
Weather cleared up.
That one is also quite difficult, a pretty challenging dungeon. And then sort of finishing off the set of dangerous dungeons is the Belouved Mines.
Time to go.
All right.
Which we've mentioned before. The Belouved Mines in particular are a little weird because the enemies themselves, like most standard enemies in that mine, from what I remember, are not that difficult. They're actually pretty easy to get, to deal with. It's when we then have to deal with stuff like, it's when you have to deal with the boss at the end. That's when things get difficult, and they get genuinely difficult there. So you've got those 3, and those 3 are all sort of probably pitched at around level 50 characters. Maybe Costermark might even be level 60. So we're probably not going to do those before we want to start moving on with the story. Before we want to actually head over to Altissia, because we don't want to be super duper overleveled. We're definitely going to be overleveled, but we don't want to be like madly overleveled for that. It also gives us a little bit of some targets that we can do once we finish the long sort of linear story section after Altissia, because we'll be able to focus on things such as completing those dungeons as we prepare for the final assault and the final battle section. However, that does leave 3 dungeons which we are yet to even touch. One of them we already know is the Merlewood, which is located up by the Vesper Hall. One is the
Could use a bite to eat.
Rock of Rabbitoh,
let's do
the
it.
big, the lovely volcano, and climbing up
us
the
not.
volcano. And one is the Daurell Caverns, which are located down in the sheer heights.
So y'all got what I asked for. Tell me now, you boys like steak?
You bet.
Good. You see, the last few jobs I gave you, they weren't from Sid. They were from me. And I reckon you deserve something by way of thanks. So I'm fixing to create a whole new recipe in your honor, a heartfelt token of my appreciation.
Well, I'm flattered.
So y'all make sure you order it next time you're around.
Guess it won't be on the house then.
Anywho, this is your pay for the hunt. It's good eating. Take it from me.
So there we have it, a meet most magnificent as we finish off the Taka series of quests. He gives us a few more relatively rare ingredients. As you can see, we no longer have any quests from him.
You boys eating your fill? I can tell you all about the area.
So,
But of course,
as you can see, we now have the sizzling humongo steak. And I don't think we've actually eaten anything from Taka at the moment. Let's go for the Hammerhead Hot Sandwich.
you got it.
Oh yeah, here it comes.
Again, you want to be dining at various places just to check
Dare
it,
say
see
I can
if
make this at camp.
old Ignis can come up with a new recipe. And then in terms of hunts,
These
I
nasties
think
here have been a real
we're-
pain in
ooh,
the
no.
rear.
there is one here that we have not yet done.
You boys are a brave bunch.
And
Make
there's still
sure
a
y'all
few
go
that are
prepared.
too high level for us in terms of the stars that are expected. There still are a few places where we haven't even touched in terms of where we can get hunts from. One of which is obviously around the Rock of Ravito. There's a little settlement down. There's a settlement here. One of which is a settlement up over here by the Vesper Pool. And those are the main two. But also there are hunts, for example, available in
A new
Altisha.
recipe in your honor, huh?
Does it have beans in it?
Better not.
Still, it's a clever way to thank you at little expense. Food for thought.
Okay, so we'll just turn up to Cindy.
Well, we brought you the parts.
Thanks, y'all. You boys must be beat after lugging those things all the way back here. On the bright side, now y'all can kick back while I fix her up. Just say the word and I'll get to work.
You sure you can handle it by yourself?
You offering to help? I'll be fine. Besides, Pawpaw gave me some advice. Sorta. He said, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't mess up. I reckon that was his way of telling me I'm on my own.
Well, far be it from me to defy Sid's advice.
That's probably for the best. Anywho, y'all just sit tight. Time for me to work my magic.
So we complete into Uncharted territory. Which allows us to take the Regalia off-road.
Howdy, Prince. How are y'all liking your new ride?
Gotta say, it's pretty cool.
Well, ain't that grand? Nothing makes me happier than seeing a satisfied customer. Truth is, though, the old girl's got a lot more power under the hood than she's using right now. With a few adjustments, I could get her real souped up.
Sure. What kind of adjustments are we talking about?
Can't say just yet. Every car's got a different set of needs, so the only way to know for sure is to take them for a test drive or two. Right now, we've got the Regalia running at a steady purr, but we're gonna need to push her to the limit if we want to find out how to really make her roar.
A little more work and she'll be the cat's meow.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you say? I can get a test track ready in a jiffy. All you need to do is get behind the wheel and take the old girl for a spin.
Leave it to me.
Okay, so a new quest there. Okay, so that's up north. Kings of the Off-Road is sort of in the middle. Okay, so what I think we'll now do... So annoyingly, we actually went right past one of our other quests, because we could have definitely done this one, the Furlock Farms one. But unfortunately, we missed it. However, we will be coming, I say close, it's relatively close to this area once more. Is that one all times? So I think what we'll do is we will take on this hunt, and then we will go and fast travel to Lustolum. We can leave the off-road driving just for a little bit.
I'm so pumped for this test drive! Ugh, we're gonna ace it!
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that Carl will pass the test. But I don't know if I can say the same for the driver.
If past experiences are any indication, he's failed before he's even begun.
Gee, thanks guys. Really appreciate the vote of confidence.
Sleepy.
There yet? Hut!
Mainly because I'm not sure if the test, like the driving test, would actually work in the, given that you've got all of the, potential for demons and stuff. The other thing that should also be mentioned is obviously there are, we've obviously got the big fortress up here, Formouth Garrison, that we can do, although we'll probably leave for a little while yet. Still, so the main aim for the next sort of 3-ish episodes, I think, will be that I will want to really push trying to complete some of these big quests, some of these big challenges.
How are we?
Getting by. One shot.
Poncho, you're up.
How we holding up?
Getting by.
Tried to warp out there, but the wrong button.
On top of it.
Biggie, look out.
Gladio, do it.
Sorry to break this up.
Gotcha. Nice work, Gladio.
Chocobo joining in. I'm like, we might as well use the extra.
Make it count.
Ignis.
With everything we have.
Nothing personal.
My hands are getting a little clammy.
There we go, one down. I'd love to break these horns. But
Gladio. Nice work, Gladio.
Yep.
Your time has come.
there we go.
Yep.
That was a close one.
Was not too bad.
Close for comfort.
I'm comfortable just being alive.
Okay, so assuming that will take us back to Ulster Slough, it does. Okay, well we'll just return back to the car and then see if we can't fast travel.
Easy now.
What level are you
Thanks for
guys?
the ride. This.
Take him out.
That should work.
hit that synchro beat like boom, boom, pow!
We hit what? Like what?
What about something a touch more refined? Cross-chain, perhaps?
Sounds good to me.
Give me a break.
They start naming their own techniques.
Magitech engine. It's close.
It's freezing.
You'll catch cold if you don't wear your jacket.
It's a nice touch in that if you're wearing your jacket, that he'll obviously complain about being too hot, and if he's not wearing his jacket, then Gladio will be like, then lose the jacket.
Made it.
Aw, thanks, buddy.
So, y'all keeping at it?
So let's see what happens when we remodel.
Well, here she is. What do you think?
Nice.
That store owner was
Amazing.
bricking it.
Incredible. A work of automotive art.
The way that thing's built, she can probably go just about anywhere.
Only one way to find out. Let's see how far she can go.
Oh, okay, that changed the time to daytime.
Ready to leave the road behind?
Born ready.
Okay, let us head to... That was unintentional, I'll be honest.
Cindy, you have seriously outdone yourself.
Yeah, never thought I'd see the day.
And yet, here we are.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's take her for a spin.
Whoops. Okay, so small little bits like that seem to knock off just a small amount of durability. So we're over here, which is I think where Cindy wanted us to be.
Everybody out.
Is that someone with a broken down car? Because if it is, we will help them. Quests. We want to go to Kings of the Off-Road.
Pretty damn windy.
I can't see a thing.
I can't just leave my car and walk home.
Okay, one tune-up too many. We'll be able to help this poor motorist.
You saved me a long trek. Ooh, that couldn't have gone any better.
So, a nice little chunk of gil and experience, and then let's head over here to see... I've never done this before, so it'll be
Howdy.
fun to see what's
You
going on.
boys are here to take that baby for a test drive, ain't you? Miss Cindy's got everything all set up for you. All y'all need to do is ride like the wind. If you post a good time, I reckon Miss Cindy will be more than happy to give the old girl a tune-up. Well, I'm ready whenever you boys are. Well, best of luck to you.
Okay, let's go. Try memorizing the location of checkpoints and obstacles. So standard stuff. quite nice looking at that, looking at Lead up from high above. You can see where all the roads sort of wind through.
Are you ready? Go!
Let's go. I wonder if this was just added for Royal, or it was also there with the update that brought in the Regalia Type D. I have no idea how hard this is going to be, whether we really need to be worried or not, but let's just do what we can. Almost as though those gaps were designed for a massive old car to be driven through them. Oh, that's the finish line. Smashed it. Easy peasy. 90 seconds spare. That's a cool soundtrack though. I don't think I've heard that piece of music in the OSD before.
You were moving like grease lightning. I'll send your results over to Miss Cindy straight away. She'll be over the moon when she sees this.
That's what we want to hear. A new customization for the Regalia, the support bumper. So I'm assuming that's stuff for like,
You boys ready and raring to race? Well, best of
I did not mean to do that.
luck to you.
I did not mean to do that.
Are you ready? Go!
I'm not sure we're going to be able to quit, so I guess we've just got to do it again, but that's okay. I do apologize. Okay, this time I'll try and use the jump feature a bit more, just for fun. Remember, the jump is only available when the green is there. But yeah, I mean, they give you plenty of time to do this. Which is surprising because there are some mini games where they just like make them like weirdly difficult, and yet this one is by far and away very simple. See, that doesn't seem to affect our durability, which is quite nice. Ah, we haven't beaten our previous time. What sort of performance is that? I just wanted to see if there was another track, for example. It may well be that maybe...
Yeah, I'll come back now.
Probably won't be the case. Just because I don't think the other areas of the game are particularly set up for it. But it'd be interesting if there were other bits of the game which sort of allowed you to do something similar.
No roads, no rules.
And no one to hold us back.
You can just see how quickly it gets to dark. It's already 2 It's already 2 p.m. So just doing that little bit there really ate through our time. Still, we do have things to do when we get to the Stolon as well. I do love it when you just have no idea where you are and everything's upside down. Okay, let's park up.
Could use a bite to eat.
Yeah, let's do it.
Howdy, Prince. I heard you posted a pretty good time out there. Guess you've got a good handle on the old girl. With all this data, I can really take the regalia to the next level. Just give me a holler when you're ready to unleash the beast.
So there we go, we complete Kings of the Off-Road. Another decent chunk of experience. That's excellent. Okay, that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Well, ain't you a lucky one? I've got just the thing.
Okay, so we need to... Oops, nope. We want to customize.
What are y'all after? What coat do you fancy?
I mean, we had our
Anything in
our
mind for
own
the
version
interior?
of this, right? We were Dark Rose, I think, at
How do you want the wheels?
Night Star Silver.
Well, here's what I can do for her. How about the decals? Anything you like?
It's a bit annoying that it doesn't like maintain your decals from like before the transformation.
How about the decals?
I think we did put some on the front and rear, but
Anything you like?
no, actually, that makes so much more sense. Let's use these on the front. That's virtually symmetric, right?
How about the decals?
Unfortunately, these ones, like the Flames 3, they have a direction to them. But I think mixing up the flames works quite nicely.
What
And
are
then
you
we wanna
fixing to
install
upgrade?
The support bumper.
How's this? I'll polish her up nice for you. She's all ready for you. Have a look.
Okay, so what we're now going to do is auto it up and hit. Let's just quickly check. Is there anything? Nothing new there. I'm going to go to what am I looking for? I'm looking for an eye for islands. There we go. We should hopefully be able to get there before.
This car keeps getting better and better. There's no limit to the things it can do.
Unfortunately, there is a limit to the things our driver can do.
You'll be eating those words and my dust.
Whoa there, Speed Demon. I'm glad you posted a good time and all, but don't get too far ahead of yourself.
Noctis just can't do anything right in Ignis's eyes. It's so mean. You did a great job. Do 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 do. Anyway, so it is, as you can see, the sun is setting as we head through another dust storm, it seems. The nice thing about driving when, or at least letting Ignis drive, is it allows us to sort of check out the map a little bit. So obviously you've got the Great Leiden Run there, which we've already done. But there's another test drive now over here, the Disquieted Motor Challenge. And the big question is there one in Klein as well? That looks like one there. Cross Klein Safari. I don't know whether there'll be even more than that. In some ways I would imagine not. But that's actually... You can't make it bounce when you're driving with Ignis.
Hey, Nox, why don't we sleep there?
They got something special?
A safe place to spend the night? The demons will be coming out any minute.
As long as we keep moving, we'll be fine.
But how can you be sure?
Okay, I think these guys aren't sounding too comfortable letting Ignis
Ready
drive.
to leave the road behind?
Born ready.
So it's getting late. We do need to worry about that. But at the same time, what we will do is, with the Regalia Type D, the hope is that we've got a bit more flexibility in terms of where we can drive. So we might be able to scoot around any packs of demons that cause us trouble. Still, it's just a short trip over to Lestallum. We're pretty close now. And then once we get there, the main thing that we need to do is hand in our, as I said, we need to start our Vive quests. He'll have a few more for us. Sort of from where we'll, he's got quite a long series of quests, and some of the ones that he wants are in noticeably sort of awkward locations. That would be, or at least in locations that it just makes an awful lot of sense to fit into a separate into a meeting with okay, well, it makes sense for us to do his quest where we need to take a picture of the volcano when we're near the volcano, and that sort of thing. So, we passed by the Lestallum blockade. This is where we might come a cropper, just because this little section, we're obviously not particularly able to move around. So, a risky jump at this height, above the Great Chasm down there. You do it's a bold one, I think, in a lot of ways, because it's then just asking for people to sort of start thinking about stuff like, out of bounds glitches, and trying to sort of, obviously there are enemies over there, so they can get over there, but that sort of thing. Okay, so the plan, or at least the current plan, I think, is handing quests around this area. We'll then go for another drive, especially for Vive's next set of quests. Obviously, we'll need to be daytime for those quests. So the options we'll have are either we could stay at the Leville and cash in a decent amount of XP that we've currently got, or we can just sort of get to a haven and just sort of wait it out.
Damn, this place is hot.
Just take your shirt off.
Like you? No way.
What, too embarrassed to show your scrawny body?
Hey, I got muscle. You just can't see it.
If you say so.
Okay.
Well, did you get the shots?
Yeah, sure. We took a few.
Oh, yeah. These are good. Real good. You guys have a knack for this.
Are you seriously gonna publish our photos?
How could I not publish beauties like these?
Really?
In fact, I got a feature upcoming about the old legends. They'll be perfect for it. Your photos are good. They got soul. Anytime you need more work, you come to me.
So we get an eye for islands. And again, we're just stepping back just to see if they have anything to say. They usually do. Maybe we need to get even higher. Okay, doesn't seem to be anything new from there. So we'll just check to Vive once more and start his next quest, which I think will take us towards
Looky here,
Toland's
it's my new
stronghold.
camera team. Seeing as you've dropped by, I can give you a new assignment, yeah?
Sure, I guess.
Okay, what I need is more material for my big feature on the old legends.
Yeah, sure. So, where do you need us to go?
Telpar Crag, the rift valley that separates the sky and Clane, was formed in the Age of Legends, or so they say. I need shots from 2 different angles. 1 shot from each should do it. Your photos are gonna be the highlight of the piece, so get some good ones. I know you can.
So we need to shoot Telpar Crag from the north and also from the south.
Okay, Noct. Let's go. Ah, look at you, getting into this.
He is living his dream, after all.
Now, there's a few other things that we can do here, I think. Or was there anything else that we needed? We can't do that one because that's on the rock. Okay. What we can do here is... So we can do that one. What we can do here is we can head up and talk to Holly.
Wouldn't stop crying for his grandpa. Oh no, the poor thing. I hope that Imperial scumbag gets what's coming to him.
Talking about obviously Talcott and his grandfather. Okay. What we will be able to do is also take on some more hunts. We've got a few hunts along the route, sort of from around near where we are, which would be quite nice to complete. As we see a bit more of Lostolum at night, we haven't really done a lot of that recently.
You're worried about the view. I'm worried about the danger.
Pretty sure we've listened to everything on there. The only frustrating thing about Lostolum is obviously that we have to sort of, we can only move at this sort of jogging pace. But still.
Stinking hot.
Yeah.
If we head over here, we can find Holly, and she will give us a small quest here in Lustollen.
Hey, if it isn't my favorite hunter.
Oh, me?
Who else? Name's Holly, by the way. Forgot to tell you earlier. Thanks for taking care of those demons. I tell you, that was a real shock, having them show up at the plant. I was so shocked, as a matter of fact, I went and did my back in.
You're back.
Yep, it's given me all kinds of grief. I can barely shuffle 10 feet. But wouldn't you know it, the girl in charge of the valves is off today. And her job is to go through town and check they're all shut down.
Want me to go for you?
What, you? I don't know. Sure, why not? If it's no trouble, that is.
Huh.
So we have steam valve inspection.
Gotta say, the women here have it rough.
Yeah, everyone's got their hands full.
They're in charge of the inspections and everything.
Indeed. They know their way around the machinery like no other.
So, this is a slightly frustrating little quest. Essentially, you've got to look for these little valves like this.
This one's seen better days.
And there are
Something to be
obviously
said for peace of mind.
8 over around the entire town, and you're pretty much just looking for the ones that are spewing gases. Lots of them are absolutely fine, but as you might imagine, there are a few that are not so.
Too hot for you.
You can say that again.
So you do have to be quite rigorous with this, just because it's very easy to miss a valve or two, and then sort of spend a load of time having to sort of go back and retrace steps.
This one needs a fix, and quick.
Well, all in a day's work.
But in some ways, this is actually quite useful for us because it offers us the chance to spend a bit more time, especially during the nighttime hours.
Girls here are so cool and independent, like, I don't need a man.
Sounds like you've heard that one a lot.
Come on, cut the little guy some slack. I'm sure somebody around here finds him attractive.
Well, then where are you? Show yourself!
Being mean to poor Prompto. Okay, nothing down there. That dead end becomes important for some late game quests.
Scary to think that fortresses can fly.
Okay, there's another one.
This one's seen better days.
And this one.
This one needs a fix, and quick.
So that takes us up to 4. So what we'll do on the way down to dealing with Vive's next request is we'll probably, we will. We'll do any hunts that are left over that are also along the way, just because we're steadily building up a block of hunts, and my only concern is that, for example, we get to Rabbito.
Oh, that's no good.
What's that?
I stepped in something, and now my shoe's all sticky.
Anyway, as we say, okay. So yeah, we'd have issues. I'll be honest, I completely lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was talking about. What we were going to do, we'll head down, we'll do some hunts, and yeah, I'm worried that we'll have not enough space. Even the 10 that you have there, we won't have enough space.
That looks good.
Go grab one if you want.
You bet I want. I'll find a joint later.
What always confuses me about this quest is how they can fit so many, and how it's so easy to miss them. And yet, it's such a small area.
Women here are built. Huh?
Like, how is that possible? How is it so easy to make these so easily missable? So as we continue to flounder around Lestolum for a bit, there's one.
This one's seen better days.
I'm hoping that they're all inside the blue ring of quest. Anything down this way? Oh, that was optimistic. And we've already been down this way.
Ooh, gets really lively at night.
I'll just check off the beaten path and see if actually any of these, if it might apply to any of these. It might not. It doesn't look like it does. Okay. Like I get the traps. Like, the traps on the ground, they were hard to spot. But like groups of 3 pipes, you feel like I should be able to pretty easily find the various sets for this.
Huh.
Maybe there's a reason that it goes so far down this way. Maybe there's some fancy way to access some of them. Nope, those are just... Why is this
It's
so
nice to
hard?
not have to kill anything.
It's not hard, but why is this so... Why is this proving to be difficult? Wait.
This looks fine. Only a few left, I think.
Oh, I've been an idiot. Okay, cool. There are just ones that aren't leaking. I thought that they were all leaking. I'm an idiot. We've definitely seen 3 others. There was one opposite a set, and I think there was one right near the start as well. We've done those 2. We've done that one. Was it up? I don't think there was anything up here, but we'll just quickly check. 3 there. And no valve. Ah, mistakes have been made. I do apologise for that, making a very silly error. So there's one here. And I think there was one on the...
Yeah, no prob. One more and we're done.
I think there was one on the main thoroughfare as well. Oh, this one. Does this count? Nope. See, that's the problem. The first one that you meet there doesn't count. Does this one count? That one also doesn't count. No. I thought I was done. Why? Ugh. Well, this just got a lot worse. I guess they're not technically inside the ring of blue death, but at the same time, not ideal. So, is there one round the back here? Was there? Maybe, maybe not. That's nothing, is it? No, can't be. Come on! We will get there. We agreed that there were none on the street, so we just leave that. None on the street.
Ignis's cooking really is a class above.
You reckon?
What, you don't think so?
Seems pretty normal to me.
To royalty, maybe. To us plebes, it's anything but.
There we go.
Okay.
Hoorah!
This one's fine, as far as I can tell. Okay, looks good. That's the last of them.
No way anyone could do this with a bad back.
She certainly needed the help.
She appreciates it for sure.
Yep. Let's hurry back and tell her the good news.
Well, that was moderately annoying, but there we go. Still, like I said, wasting time. That's exactly what we were doing. It was all strategic. So I think Holly will give us a second quest, which again is sort of across the land somewhat.
You checked them all? Everyone?
Yeah, all working no problem.
Thank you. While you checked valves, I had my back checked out. But the doctor, he just said it was a bad case of the nerves.
Oh yeah?
I hear the word demon, I stiffen up like a corpse. Anyway, here's a little something. Buy yourselves a meal.
$2,500 gil. As we see there, we get a new quest, but we'll just see if...
So she hears the word demon and that throws her back out?
Yep, that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Gotta be careful what we say around people, in case we give them a hernia or something.
Ordinary folks have much to fear in uncertain times as these.
What's that?
Ah, there's my favorite hunter. Hey, can you do a girl a favor?
Sure, what is it?
We're in charge of operating the ropeway, and it's acting up. We need to figure out the problem. First thing is fact gathering. Can you go and take a look at the pylons that are outside? There's no way I can send any of the regular staff out there. It's just too much for them to handle. I'd go myself, except the plant workers are having a massive dispute. I'm the only one who can sort it all out.
So, we get the new quest, Power to the Pylons. And these are, as you can see, sort of located along the route from Lestolum, sort of between Lestolum and Old Lestolum, which is actually similar to the area that we'll be going next for...
I don't envy being caught in that dispute.
Nope. The folk working here are tough as nails.
You think it's as dangerous as she says?
I don't know, but I don't want to find out.
Okay, so we are going to, as we say, as we have said, we should do Aftermath of the Astral War alongside Power to the Pylons 1 and 2. And we will also do They Came Back from the Mountain, because it's virtually along the way, and also Disquieted Queens, because that's also along the way. That will be the next two things that we're really thinking of doing. And then I'm just thinking that we probably don't have we might not have enough time for me to actually get to one of those big dungeons that I was talking about. But what we could do is what we could do is... What I do want to do is actually grab a meal, though.
They knocked. Check it out.
What is it?
Just because I'm... Just because we don't have a food buff on, so I think it makes sense if we're doing a lot of combat. Like, it won't be too much combat, but, you know, it's always worth doing something.
Crisp baked bread fresh out of the oven.
Okay, we go. And ever closer to rank 5.
So, ready to get some bread in you?
So that's... Interesting that that boosts spirit, and that boosts... That's a general one, so we'll get the roti and curry.
I'll serve it up in a jiffy. Thank you.
So yeah, we might not be able to do one of the big main dungeons, but what we might be able to do is the crossover tie-in quest with the character from from Final Fantasy XIV. Like, it's not quite where we're heading, but we will also... if we head down this way, then we can chat to Dave and do that. And then the big question is whether we do the Daurell Caverns, which are here, or whether we do that one. I'm not sure which one would be shorter, if I'm honest.
We've been on the move all night. Perhaps we should find a place to rest nearby.
I'll take the wheel from here.
So be it. I only ask you keep the recklessness to a minimum.
No roads, no rules.
And no one to hold us back.
So it might be a case that we don't quite get to exactly where I was thinking we might do. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so finally off smart steering. So they want us to inspect a power pylon around here. Whoops. Yep, I have no idea what's going on. I'm trying to head over to where the larger thing is. Where the blue sign is, because that's generally where the quest mark will actually be.
Seems we found what we were looking for.
Okay, Megaloclaws. What are you up to? Weak to guns, machinery, and ice.
Want some?
Nothing personal.
Going for it! Never fear!
Octo!
Oh yeah!
Feisty little devils.
Biggie, go for it!
I'm beat.
Time for some well-earned R&R.
That wasn't too bad. Wasn't really obviously we weren't really necessarily expecting it to be in terms of the difficulty, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. Okay, let's jump back in the car.
Here we go!
Seatbelts, everyone.
Trying to weave my way through the fields here. So I got a little. There we go.
These are not the type of bad guys I like to fight.
What type do you like to fight?
None, now that you mention it.
Looks like we can climb up these ladders.
Easy peasy.
All right, you hate bugs.
Me? Yeah, can't stand them.
Same here. Icky.
Okay, so we'll make our way around. Pick up that mega potion, and then we should just be able to climb up here in order to sort out the first of 3 power pylons.
This one looks fine. This one's fine. Probably.
We have a lovely, beautiful view over the countryside. So we've got power to the Pylons II, but before that we'll want Aftermath of the Astral War and Disquieted Queens. It seemed to want to allow me to just jump off, which was a bit sad. So, killer queens, so enemies like the bees the killer bees that we just fought, they shouldn't be too much of a worry for us at our current level. And also we have Prompto, who just makes fighting flying enemies that, I mean, obviously we're doing it right already because we're using a lance, and they're some of the best.
No roads, no rules, and no one to hold us back.
Weapons in terms of for flying enemies, but at the same point you also have to deal with
Oh, yeah!
you also have to just deal with the fact that dealing with flying enemies in this game is somewhat challenging. Whoopsie. What's cool is that the power pylons that you see throughout the game are exactly the same. You know, they do follow the map that is then sort of explored upon in the Final Fantasy Episode Comrades sort of expansion. As we hit Alkari Haven. I don't think I have ever unlocked that haven. There's just some places you just don't go.
Should be a nice change of pace.
Alright, well, we see the queens over there. Bees, enemies like this are usually weak to ice, from what I remember. Ice and lances, maybe.
Imperials above us! Thanks.
So 38 ice, guns, and standard swords.
Ready for this?
So what we will do is just give Noctis a engine blade.
Of course.
Now!
Coming up.
All over! Pronto! Oh, hi there, opening. Nice one, Pronto. It's not... Pronto! Got it! Die on me.
I mean, you say that,
So far, so...
but well, apparently they want us to summon. Maybe a bit over the top, some might argue. Some might argue reasonable. Yeah, I mean, wow. Just beautiful destruction. So Rama sort of finishes off those killer queens. We're going to use, I mean, we might as well use summons whenever we can. They're obviously very cool and impressive looking little cutscenes. They don't always kill because obviously they have their own sort of fixed amount of damage. So even against, you know, there are some missions where that just, you have this big massive sort of scene and then it still doesn't actually kill the enemy that you're trying to kill, which is rather amusing. As far as actually what triggers them, I don't think I actually know. So that's something I can definitely look up. I think it's some form of like probability. It takes a certain period of time. I definitely tried to jump over those trees and it didn't work.
Who's up for a hike? How about shooting this?
Let me get this shot.
So we get one picture of Tailpar Crag from the north. And now we need to head over to the south, which is very close to Old Lestallum.
Ready to leave the road behind?
Born ready.
So let me just check the map. Yeah, so we'll try and scoot sort of down this little bit and then make our way over to Vive there. Or we might be cut off by the fortress itself. We could not make the jump. I just think it's such a dorky idea. Let's just build a big off-road. Let's take our the group's limousine and let's just turn it into a big off-road monster truck, which can jump. And we'll just see how the game deals with that. It's like, it's almost like they thought of the idea first, and they were just like, the game, it'll probably do okay, probably be fine. Just leave it, see what happens. Just feels like an idea that no one really thought through, and yet it turns out okay. Like obviously there are sections like that where it looks a bit silly because, well, you can't see anything. But that's always, in some ways, part of it. The open road. Whoops. I just wanted to enter the field. Oh, they sound like they're having fun. If you ignore all the concussion. So, I think this is around also where we're looking for a second pylon as well. Is that... There's a bridge there, so a ladder there, so we might...
Oh, we're going up?
I'm pretty sure this is pylon number 2.
The hunt is...
Oh, bees. No one cares. Was it? It was literally one killer bee.
Let's go.
One level 10 enemy. I think we could have probably climbed that and sort of just ignored him. Though admittedly getting attacked,
Pretty high up.
getting harassed by a bee on the ladder would not be fun. Even though you're Noctis and you could definitely just warp out. Okay, so...
Looks all right to me. This one's fine. Probably.
There we go, we get power to the pylons number 2. The third one is sort of towards, as you say, towards Old Lestallum. Okay, lovely.
Here we go.
Seatbelts, everyone.
Okay, there we go. Finally got ourselves pointing in the right direction.
Everybody out.
And from the bridge, we will take our second photo for Vive.
Ready or not?
Now we go back, right?
So, let's have a look. Where are we? We are here. We have Adventure from Another World. We have Swallowed by Shadows, which we need to hand in to Dave. Okay. Let's just drive into them, see what happens.
Everybody out.
Also, just because there's a new enemy there, the Bannerman, I think we fought.
Let's go! Roger.
See ya!
You ready for this? Boom!
Yeah! Gladio, do it! Sorry to break this up.
Oh, that was cool. No, that was very cool.
Nice work, Gladio.
Nothing close, move. Try this.
None the worse for wear.
Beautiful. Okay, so actually, let's just
No rules.
And
auto to go on, where is it? Just being an idiot and can't work out which one I'm looking for. Swallowed by Shadows, that's the one.
no one to hold us back.
Everything in order?
Yep. What was that?
My apologies.
What do you say we pull over for a minute?
Yeah, my throat's bone dry.
Sounds like grounds for a pit stop.
Sounds like a waste of time and money.
Okay, so we'll stop off and have a chat with Dave.
Good work, boys. This tag ought to give the family of the fallen some small measure of peace.
Okay, as we slowly continue to accumulate a decent amount of experience now, I think what we'll do is... So we've still got 3 days worth of Chocobo, which is good to know.
How are you today?
Nothing from that.
Bye now!
So what we'll do is we'll just check the diner here and see if there's anything new in terms of hunts. We'll obviously hand in our other hunts. I think that should take us to rank 5.
A promotion. Nice.
Okay, another 40 points in order to get up to
The
a hunter
recognition
rank
you deserve.
6.
Kick back and relax.
Okay, what hunts do we
You
have
keen
here?
to pummel some pests?
Okay, so we've actually done all of these, which is pretty cool. The only one we're missing is old denizens of the woods, which are elder curls,
Come back
which are just
anytime.
beefed up curls, and we already have trouble enough with regular curls. So I think that's a good reason to avoid that one.
Born ready.
I do like the Retaliator Type D, but I am starting to get a little tired of them using the same comments every time. Okay, so I reckon I said we might not do it. I said we would. Let's do it. We're going to head over to Daurell, and we're going to take on the caverns there. I think that makes the most sense for us right now. As one of the various dungeons. And if we manage to do like a dungeon, or in some cases it may well be like doing the Final Fantasy XIV crossover mission and things like that, if we're able to do one of those per episode, from now on, we'll be pretty set. Should mean that we'll be heading to Altissia in 3 or 4 episodes time, and we'll be feeling pretty good about that too. So, the beautiful sheer heights as the sun sets. We'll mount our majestic steed.
Let's go.
And within those sort of times, we'll also want to do stuff like just do some remodeling, sort of change our regalia, change our chocobos again. Try and do that relatively regularly. So thinking if we finish relatively sort of close to the, we're probably this will be probably the last thing we do. And if it is, then we'll be able to sort of move on.
Thanks for the ride.
Sort of start
Nice
maybe the
riding
next
with
episode doing some fishing over by Daurell Spring and stuff like that. Okay, Daurell Caverns.
Do we have to risk our lives just to make a living?
When you put it that way.
So what? You want to wait for the treasure to find us?
So as we see, Daurell Caverns, and it is a level 28 quest, so this should be more than we should be more than capable of completing this one. Surprised it's that low level, actually. Although I will say I don't remember quite what the boss is. Yeah.
Anybody see any rare, valuable stuff lying around?
I don't think that's how this works.
Okay, so I'm going to say that the other route is probably more likely, given that that one requires you to sort of go through the little scene of them squeezing squeezing between the gaps. But this one is also...
Might be able to crawl through here.
Sure about that, big guy? Well, anything?
I'm really not sure what you're expecting.
Maybe you can find it yourself.
Let me give the...
This time, just...
Okay, so we've got some Hecteyes. These rather gross-looking monsters with just, as you can see, a ton of eyes. And also a Necromancer. What level is this Necromancer? 41 is that? How is this a level 28 dungeon? With level 41 enemies. That's what I remember.
Radio seems a bit
Damn, that instant death vote. Where is it?
Sorry to break this up.
Well, that went somewhat better than our last meeting with some... with a Necromancer. Because I still remember that, So what were they guarding down here?
That sucks.
More Hecteyes. Lots of Hecteyes.
Oh, hi there, opening.
You're on fire today.
What can I say?
Dark Crest. Okay, interesting. These enemies are quite tough, we're finding at the moment. Bring you back to Star Shell.
There's something up above.
Some scaffolding and a ladder. Who put those there?
Who indeed? What was their purpose here?
And most importantly, did they leave any loot behind?
No way of telling from down here. Let's press on.
So you pick up a Hardedge, which is another weapon, as you can see, 244, relatively strong, but obviously nowhere near the Genji Blade, which we got for doing Episode Gladio. Okay.
Hey, you wanna what? Spacious studio. Note the high ceilings. Someone left a light on for us.
Not just a light. Sunlight. There's a hole above.
Yes, the skylights. You won't find a demon lair with one of those.
So we hope.
Interesting. In some ways, I quite like the Final Fantasy I music in this dungeon. I'm quite enjoying it. Okay, we get a silver bangle and get punished for exploring with some aliens. Both of which who can do insta-kill attacks.
Not the time for horseplay. My hand slipped.
So I don't know if we're only seeing the hard enemies because we've come in...
That is just gross.
Just because we've come in at night. Or whether these are just the standard enemies for this particular dungeon. Because if they are, those level suggestions seem very much off.
Wouldn't expect any less from you. Good.
Slow and steady wins the race. Right, guys?
Just need to survive to the finish.
Yeah, those necromancers are not fun to fight. Ooh. A pool.
Oh, you see that?
Yeah, I'd say that pool is due for cleaning.
Oh, I don't feel so good. Any idea what it is in this?
No, but it appears toxic, so I wouldn't recommend sticking around to find out.
Sick just looking at it.
Stop bitching, start killing. Yeah. Hey, where'd you learn that?
Yeah, Noctis. We want to chuck on.
Knocked. Here we go. We're in the home stretch.
You ready? Out of the way! Be sure to get my good side. Wouldn't let you down. I'm beat.
The difficulty of this dungeon is quite surprising to me. I'd be really interested to sort of see what it'd be like in the day as well, just for reference almost.
Two choices. This way or this way. Which way?
Want to weigh in?
What do you say, Your Majesty? I say, no way. I'm letting you blame me for picking the wrong path. I would never.
Oh, they're great when they're just having fun with it. Okay. I don't know if we even have... I know, we won't have full spells now, but... we'll get the chance to fuse a spell in a bit. Let's get a pool going down. We get... some more consumable collectibles. And what looks to be a path up. So does this reunite us with where we were? So we had the other path at the top, which we never fully explored. Okay, ice energy is also full. Yeah, it looks like... okay, that makes sense. So we will have explored everywhere, which is good. And this is the other end of the
Sure
path.
do spend a lot of time underground. Yeah, about this. Have I mentioned I'm claustrophobic? Who isn't?
I've made tighter squeezes. Just gotta push through.
Is that another Ronin? It is. Been keen on giving me potential summons recently. Okay, cool. Okay, let's just quickly do this. We have a spare one. Okay, let's go. We'll just make some relatively weak, in that sense, Blizzard spell. We already have our very strong spells. And this way we'll just... more Hecteyes.
Every plot of attack. I'll right through him, and I'll circle around.
No mercy.
This can't be.
Thank you.
Well, here we are.
You're up. A couple of Ronin this time.
It's nothing. Your time has come.
Okay.
All right, we're done here.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm really surprised with these enemy arrangements because they are they're pretty tough for a mission that said it was only level 28. Maybe when I think we will have to do this area again. We will be able to do it during the day and see sort of the comparison. Looks like a dead end this way. What sort of dead end is it? Ah!
As far as this road will take us.
Better throw it in reverse.
But we have the Daurell Stills fishing spot.
It's showtime.
So I have no idea what these fish will want or anything like that, but let's just...
Won't get a good cast like that. Put your back into it.
Got to remember that when I come back here, we're going to be prepared to do some fishing. It'll also be annoying because I guess you're going to have to run through all of the dungeons just to get back here, and if you've got fish that are only here at certain times of day, yeesh, that could be unfriendly. Okay. Maybe this one? Always have hope. Apparently I've got a fish interested, but at the same time, none of them are moving close to me, so we'll try that once more. No, it's still chasing after, but it's, at least it looked like it might have been. Rogue. We'll just try a couple more lures and see what we can do.
Think I'll play King's Knight in the meantime.
Better not. His Highness will get sulky.
Okay, let's go for maybe one of these. No luck. We wouldn't want to have a whole run where we can't catch anything. But this is also part of the reason why you do need to do your research when you're looking into fishing in this game. Because if I knew what I was, you know, looking for here, then this would be a lot easier. But we still had those, that weird little thing with the lure was quite interesting. Anything there? Ooh, good. Come on. There we go. That's what we like. A nice easy fish to catch. I should probably rush just because the ooh, cave dace. Cool. I was saying I should probably rush because my buffs are about to, like my food buffs are about to run out. And they will make the final boss easier. But I'm in a fishing mood. I'd like to fish just these last...
You've improved.
Take some vengeance for the sort of lack of biting earlier. Okay. We will stop fishing. We have at least caught something. Okay, so we'll now move on. We'll head down this way. So we hit yet another necromancer.
Petrified. Excuse me. Let me brighten your day.
Must feel good in this stretch.
You're on fire today.
Okay.
None the worse for wear.
Bring on the next one.
So we take care of that necromancer. some more enemies here. 2 necromancers and 2 ronins. So much damage. Beautiful.
Tonto, you're up. Let me brighten your day. I'm impressed.
The nice thing is, though, I do see myself being stronger than the last time we fought necromancers, which is cool. I keep missing the chance to do Armiger Chain.
Count on it. Good looking out. Count on it.
Here we go! Over here!
Here goes nothing.
Nice.
Think I'm finally starting to get the hang of this.
I've seen worse.
Do you mean it? I mean, really? Do you mean it?
Aww, Procto, so desperate for others' attention as we get another pair of assassin's daggers. They just love littering the place with them. Okay, so another green pool of poisonous goop. And another split path. So this one's nice and obvious.
Last thing I need now. Eyes peeled, mouth closed.
What is that? Oh, just a road. I say just a Ronin just because we've been dealing with these relatively easily so far.
Let me brighten your day.
But we always need to be careful with the sort of samurai type enemies, as they are all available of, they all have the possibility of insta-kill skills.
Not good to throw daggers in the dark.
Be nice to brighten things up in here.
It can also feel pretty cool to sort of duel down with these, the sort of the samurai type enemies.
Better than... Wait. Did we come from that way or that way? Knocked. Are we lost again?
Not lost, merely misplaced.
We're not lost at all. We know where we're going. Okay, so I think we should be...
My legs won't carry me much further.
Well, they'd better. Because there ain't no way I'm carrying you.
Better be a shortcut back.
Okay. So another poisonous pool of
Cut it out, man.
goop.
No! Whatever that is!
Stop bitching, start killing.
Say your prayers.
Same to you.
me brighten your day! Hey, Ignis! Instructions! Ignis!
My pleasure.
Kept you waiting, didn't I?
Yeah, you really did. You're done for.
Okay.
Those royal powers of yours aren't half bad. All part of the gig. What's it like to teleport around like that? It's pretty sweet.
Fair enough. Okay, so new part of the dungeon as we head down here. And that's like a nice little clearing. Oh, it looks like we're actually going to be crossing above war, maybe.
Hey! We actually made it up here.
Told you we could do it.
Never doubted you for a second. Knocked. Check the ladder.
Could do ourselves a favor and lower it down.
Would make life easier for next time.
A little bit annoying that we went all the way down it when we know that we're going to be climbing back up, I think. I'm pretty sure we've been down that lower level of the dungeon. Anyway, let us proceed forth. Be careful.
Oh. Have I mentioned I'm acrophobic?
Don't fear heights, fear falling.
Don't worry, Propto. I know how you feel. Fear of heights is not fun. And indeed, when they are doing these little shimmies, I do always not want to be in their shoes. Very glad that they're the ones doing it and not me. Okay. I got a nice little allural shallot. Location, just where the sun's peeking through. Just before, I'm assuming, we get towards the final room of the dungeon.
So, that's it? We're done here?
As far as we can see.
I got a bad feeling.
You're not
Shut
alone.
up! It was too good to be true!
Yeah, never mind. I see. So the final boss of this area is just a basic... You're telling me that the final boss of this area is just a basic Iron Giant that we've fought many times before.
Got this? Turned into a statue! Again?
Just because we're low in general, I think.
Iggy, look out.
a tiring endeavor.
Okay, there we go. Daurell Caverns are fully explored. So, no, fortunately, no royal arm for us to find here, but you see that there's an interesting fishing spot and a few other things. Still, that is it for this. So I think if we can, we'll return to the entrance of the dungeon.
I'm done.
And we'll be close to calling this episode to an end. So it just hits the morning viewpoint as we exit the dungeon. And yeah, so I think clearly that dungeon's a lot harder at night than it is at day. Given that we had Necromancers and Ronin there at level 41, but the main boss was only level 30. The fact that the main boss was just an Iron Giant does kind of imply that if you go during the day, that the other enemies are not going to be as taxing as that. Still, it was a good challenge for us. It was good fun to go through yet another dungeon, and that's going to be it. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode of my walkthrough of Final Fantasy 15, my playthrough of, and I hope you will join me on the next.